Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here. Welcome back to Myth Busting Mondays. I hope that you guys are well, and I hope you're looking forward to today's episode because, ladies and gentlemen, the big, bad, epic myth at the end of the video, my friends, is going to be, can you catch somebody from falling to their death in Left 4 Dead? What do I mean by this? I'm essentially saying that if someone were to, like, let's say, incapacitate themselves after jumping off of a ledge, like they downed midair, could you revive them before they fall to the ground and save them? That is what we're going to be testing out for the final myth at the end of today's episode. And I think it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. If you guys end up enjoying today's episode by the end, please definitely don't forget to end up dropping a like, comment, and subscribe to show your guys' support. We are stupidly close to 3,000 subscribers, and we can hit it literally any day now, including today. So please definitely end up subscribing to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this. But anyways, guys, let's get on with this week's episode of Myth Busting Mondays. Myth: can a charger still charge someone that's using a chainsaw? Alright guys, so this myth was submitted by Glabursko. Glabursko asks, can you end up charging through someone that's using a chainsaw? This is very similar to his myth request from last week, where he was asking if it was possible that you could hunt somebody and pounce them through a chainsaw, which that myth was busted. But does this same logic apply to a charger? We're going to find that out, ladies and gentlemen. So Glabursko, the man that submitted the myth, is going to be in my lobby here as the charger that's in front of me. And even though I was holding down the chainsaw, he still manages to charge through me and actually end up starting to incapacitate me. So that means that, yes, this myth is confirmed. If you were holding down a chainsaw, regardless of how long you were holding it for, the charger will just charge through regardless and kill you. Now, I should mention that here in the editing stage of the video, I did not think to test in the gameplay about the possibility if the charger, like, let's say, was one shot, and he was really, really weak, could the charger die by the chainsaw then? I'm just going to say that that is definitely a possibility. But despite that possibility, I'm still going to leave the myth at confirmed, because the myth was just simply looking at if the charger could in any circumstance charge through a chainsaw, which he did. So that's why I labeled the myth as such. Myth: can you start the cold stream finale without answering the chopper pilot? Alrighty guys, so this myth was submitted by Zoe, and Zoe, my friend, I have a thing I want to show you here on the screen. This is the cold stream finale here outside where the fence is, where we actually have console commands enabled so we can see all the crossable barriers that are on the map. Now, red means that nothing can pass through it, whereas purple means that only zombies can pass through. And if you take a look at the fence is going to be completely covered in red, which means that we would not be able to get over this fence, despite the fact that the fence itself is the only thing that's red, where everything else above it is not. You would think that with the red being only on the fence that we can't go through the fence, but we could go over the fence. But no, that's not the case, because me, Dan, and Glabursko could not get over the fence no matter literally what we did, unless we just no-clipped, which means that you would basically have to cheat. Because this would be the only logical way to go, because you can't force yourself through the door unless you also, once again, have no-clip. So with all of that in mind, just the way that the game is made, this fence was not meant to be crossed. So I'm going to fortunately have to leave this myth at busted. There is no way, with the way that the game is designed, you're getting over this fence or getting through the door without no-clipping. So technically, if you wanted to no-clip, sure, but any other way, I don't think it's possible. Myth: can you skip the crashed plane panic event on Swamp Fever? Alrighty guys, so this myth is also submitted once again by Glabursko. Now Glabursko, since he was filming with me, didn't type this. All he did was just speak it to me, which means that there's going to be no myth here on screen. But it was indeed submitted by Glabursko, and Glabursko wants to know if you can just skip the plane that is on the second chapter of Swamp Fever. Do you have to open the emergency door, or can you just go around it? So me, Dan, and him were just trying to spam grenade launchers and seeing if we can hop over any potential invisible barriers. So far, we have not managed to do it. There is invisible barriers on the plane. However, though, I have seen people skip this part before. So really what it is, that it's just a matter of trying to find the right spot. So we decided to go to the right half, where there's a little bit more visual, like cracks and open stuff in the plane. And when I jump on Dan, he shoots a grenade launcher up into my body, and then boom, I am on the other side, meaning that yes, this myth is confirmed. You can still skip this panic event on Swamp Fever. Myth: can you shoot a shotgun with frag rounds into the floor to save yourself from fall damage? Okay, so this one is extremely hard to explain, but I will try my absolute hardest to. So basically, the myth is literally what I just said. Can you use specifically a shotgun with frag rounds to shoot the ground and save yourself from fall damage? Now, if you were also watching the background gameplay when I just said this, you will see that Dan does this very thing. However, though, a lot of you might have questions, so rather than trying to explain, like, the process and then having a build-up and saying why we decided to label this as confirmed, I instead want to explain our reasoning and why we came to this said conclusion. So, Dan, or Dr. Zed, has seen a YouTube video before about Left 4 Dead speedruns, and one of the ways that you can try to cheese the system for speedrunning in the game is to make it so that way you can fall off of high surfaces, and in order to do that, one of the ways you can end up negating fall damage is to shoot a frag round shotgun into the ground as you are descending. This does this really weird effect where the frag rounds, since they end up giving you splash damage, you know, they kind of give you like a whiplash effect. There is a brief period of time from the moment that you're falling and before you hit the ground, if you shoot your gun, you don't end up dying, which is really weird because you think that with a frag round, that with all the splash damage that is in that thing, the gun would just kill you. But it's not enough to kill you, but instead it just weaken you. So instead of dealing with the death from the fall damage, it's better to deal with the splash damage from the frag rounds, which would end up making it where you might end up taking damage, but you still save your life, which, you know, it's better than dead. My theory about this is that it's probably a thing due to the way that the pellet spread is with a shotgun, versus if you were to do this like with an automatic or something, because it's a certain type of condensed shot. Whereas if you had like an AK-47 or something like that, it's just a whole bunch of splash damage from just a whole bunch of rapid-fire mini shots, which isn't as crazy as, like, let's say, one giant shotgun shell. Yep, so once again, after explaining it a little bit, this myth is confirmed. It's really weird how that this works, but it's just something that is in the game, and we just have to accept it. Alright everybody, now we move on to the final myth. So, ladies and gentlemen, if someone were to down mid-air, and they were incapacitated while they were falling to their death, could you try to end up catching them somehow? Is there anything that we can do as a player to save our teammate's life? I don't know. Let's find out. Myth. Can you save somebody's life by catching them in Left 4 Dead 2? Alrighty guys, so me, Dan, and Glabursko are ready to end up taking on the final myth. Now we do have a couple things here that are going to be helping us out. Number one, we have slowed down the game, so that way it's going to be much easier for us to be able to react and therefore catch each other. Second of all, we're going to have adrenaline in our systems, making so that way the res speed is going to be a lot faster, making it more in our favor. And then lastly as well, we are going to be trying to be on the highest possible elevated surfaces, such as like Dead Center's Atrium, even No Mercy's Hospital, just so that way we have more time to be able to hopefully catch somebody before they end up crashing into the Earth's crust. So here is our absolute best attempt from when we were doing this on Dead Center. So what's going to happen is that me and Dan are going to be at the very edge of this little bridge right here. So shortly here, I will incapacitate myself once I have jumped off, and Dan will be falling off alongside me with adrenaline in his system, and he's going to be trying to hold his interaction key to try to res me. So on the count of 3, we're going to jump, and we're just going to see if Dan can end up resing me with everything in our favor. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, and here we go, we're falling. Dan, can you res me? Okay, interesting results. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at them, shall we? So let's replay that in extra slow motion. And as you guys see, what happens is that once I end up jumping, Dan is like just a little bit later than me, but he does start to pull a res off. The res is showing up on the screen. However, though, we both descend to the ground and we both end up dying. Going into this myth, I thought that there was a 50-50 chance that this would work. Either that number one is that this was going to end up not working whatsoever, there would be no interactions, no signs that this was working whatsoever, it'd be a complete waste of time. The other half of me was thinking like, okay, if you can end up having it where you can save yourself from fall damage while rezzing somebody while you're falling, while you're a player that's standing up, could this work in the reverse sense? And it looks like it was sort of working, but it just looks like we happened to just run out of time. So the only thing that we could do that was higher than Dead Center's Atrium in order to attempt this myth was to go over to No Mercy's Hospital. So now we're at the top of No Mercy's Hospital, and we're going to do the exact same thing, except that I'm going to try to revive Dan, And the problem is that what happens is that the death cutscene for when you fall off the map immediately takes place, and therefore we end up not even having an opportunity to revive each other, because I thought that, you know, with the building being so high, we'd have a chance, but no, unfortunately that was not the case. And even though I have proven this myth as busted before in a prior episode, we did also just end up removing any possible placebos, tried to end up doing it where we were holding down the talk button, so that way the cutscene for when you jump off the building could be hopefully turned off, because that is a thing that used to be in the game, but unfortunately that didn't work no matter how many times we tried it. So since Dead Center's Atrium doesn't give you enough time and No Mercy's Hospital ends up just killing you with the death cutscene, this myth is just simply not possible within the current means of the game. However though, with that being said, we only tested the default maps that were in the game that were a Valve official map. If there was ever a custom map that was literally just an infinite, like, straight up building where you could fall for as long as you want, I think that this could be possible. It's just that I don't think that there's a map like that that exists, but I want to say this is because the revive animation was always there. That wasn't the issue, it's just that the issue was we were running out of time, or there was a death cutscene playing, or just something like that. So instead of leaving the myth at busted, I want to leave it at plausible. I think if you ever got the right map, this could happen. It's just that the highest building in the entire game is No Mercy's Hospital, and the game doesn't let you because it has a pre-triggered cutscene. So that's just where I leave it, but let me know what you think down below in the comments. Alrighty guys, so that's going to be it here for today's episode of Myth Busting Mondays. I do truly hope you end up enjoying, and thank you to everyone that submitted myths for this week. I truly appreciate all of you guys. If any of you meme lords that are watching at home want to end up having one of your myths be featured in a future episode, by all means, please put them down below in the comments. I would really love to see what you guys come up with. If you would like to financially support the channel, I tremendously appreciate you guys could go check out my Patreon. It's always linked down below in all my YouTube video descriptions, or you guys could use supporter creator code BlackNinja797 in all caps in the Fortnite Epic Games item shop, because Epic is my very first sponsor, and they're sponsoring today's video, so shout out to Epic Games. I hope you guys end up enjoying seeing another YouTube video from the most unique YouTubers we're ever going to see. Thank you for watching, guys. I love you, and peace out.
Hey, meme lords. Jesus here. And you better have enjoyed that video there by the eternal god Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too, or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, you might like it too. And give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!
That's the wrong one. 7. Finish.
Oh, well,
Wrong one.
you
Prematurely.
Wait.
Yo, that was a fast rescue world record, ladies and gentlemen.
God damn. 0
God damn, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, that's a speed run.